Representative Gohmert faces the camera and spells out why Mueller can never be trusted by US4Trump.com. Representative Louis Gohmert joined Harris Faulkner on Outnumbered Overtime during an interview with Fox News on Wednesday afternoon. Gohmert had some harsh criticisms for Robert Mueller, slamming his phony witch hunt. The congressman has taken a passionate stance against the witch hunt and the FBI's handling of information leading up to the 2016 presidential election. Gohmert said during his interview that Mueller's goal was to indict the president. Exactly. I love Gohmert because he tells it the way it is. He doesn't hold back. Eric Holder lied to us a number of times, was held in contempt, should have gone to jail, but Harris, I totally believe him when he says, look, I've known Robert Mueller for 20, 30 years, and he is not going to stop until he gets some kind of indictment against President Trump. Gohmert started out saying, that's what Mueller wants to get. And when I hear that Giuliani is saying, oh, if it goes past September 1st, Mueller will be blamed for playing politics and affecting the election. Mueller could care less. He would love to affect the election, Gohmert explained. See, I believe Gohmert. Next, Gohmert slammed Mueller for being a crybaby for not getting appointed to be over the FBI, but instead was appointed to work the special counsel that he's disqualified from. He suggested that this is President Trump's payback. Gohmert mentioned Mueller's involvement in the Russia uranium sale, go for it, with Hillary Clinton declaring the HE should be the one investigated. Mueller is the special counsel. This is a guy that doesn't care. He is hoping it will affect the election and screw over the president, he declared. Gohmert switching gears, saying, looking at it from Mueller's standpoint, okay, he times this 90 days before the election and says we want to ask questions, knowing that they will probably come back with conditions he can't accept. Gohmert continued, he will have to do a subpoena. And even if the president does agree to testify, then he gets him in a perjury trap, which will help him indict. President Trump should not sit down with Mueller, plain and simple. But if the president answers questions in writing or verbally, he should follow crooked Hillary's lead. I'm sorry, I don't recall. I have no recollection of that. I don't remember. And what difference at this point does it make? Perfect. You know, this guy is the best. Gohmert, Eric Holder lied to us a number of times and he was held in contempt. Should have gone to jail, but Harris, I totally believe him when he says, look, I've known Robert Mueller for 20, 30 years and he is not going to stop until he gets some kind of indictment against POTUS. The special counsel and the investigation is a farce. It was based off of false pretext, and it is not valid. Therefore, it should be stopped immediately. President Trump should not waste a moment of his time to speak to Mueller, and crooked Hillary owes the American taxpayers $25 million. Absolutely. Let's take a quick listen because Gohmert doesn't play around. He tells it like it is. He's not afraid.
Congressman Louis Gohmert of the House Judiciary Committee. Great to have you today. I want to start with your thoughts on now the answer back from the president's team, legal team, to Robert Mueller.
Well, I hope Dershowitz is right that they've laid conditions that Mueller won't accept because it'd be a disaster. Eric Holder lied to us a number of times testifying before Congress. He was held in contempt, should have gone to jail. But Harris, I totally believe him when he says, look, I've known Robert Mueller for 30 years, and he is not going to stop until he gets some kind of indictment against the president. And I think he's right. That's what Mueller wants to get. And when I hear that Giuliani is saying, oh, if it goes past September 1st, Mueller will be blamed for, playing politics and affecting the election. Mueller could care less. He would love to affect the election. This is a guy that sat down, looked Trump in the face, said, basically begging him to appoint him again as director of the FBI, and when he doesn't get it, he becomes special counsel of an area he's totally disqualified from because he was FBI director and part of the investigation into Russia trying to buy uranium that enabled Hillary to get CFIUS to approve the sale so they could make $145 million. Mueller should be investigated, and instead he is a special counsel. This is a guy that doesn't care. He's hoping he will affect the election and screw over the president.
You always manage to break it down to some new category that we haven't seen. So you've just driven us in a lane of flip the switch on Robert Mueller. And it is interesting, where we are right now, though, you say he wouldn't care about politics anyway. Lay conditions such that he won't accept. Wouldn't he then slap the president's team, the president, with a subpoena? And would that be better or worse?
Well, see, that's the way Mueller will look at it. And I used to be a pretty good lawyer because I could put myself
in the judiciary. You're an excellent lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I was a judge and chief justice, but look at it from Mueller's standpoint. Okay, he times this 90 days before the election and says we want to ask questions knowing that they'll probably come back with conditions he can't accept. He will have to do a subpoena. And even if the president does agree to testify, then he gets him in a perjury trap, which will help him indict they indicted Mike Flynn when the FBI officer said, look, there is no.
So you don't think there's a way to avoid, because that's, every attorney that I've interviewed, judges they're like, Harris, you don't sit down with the special counsel. You don't do it.
And so
my question is,
you should not.
Is no one able to sit down with the special counsel and just not get into a perjury trap?
It's really difficult.
Wow.
Very, very difficult. Especially when you've got people like Weissman and Mueller. They don't mind breaking the law to put people in jail. They've done it before. They'll do it again as long as they've got the power, and they've got the power. So from Mueller's standpoint, if the lawyers are willing to let the president sit down, and I know it's the president's decision, but he should not do that. It's wrong. It shouldn't do it.
Well, but the president has said he'll listen to his counsel. He said that.
Well, because President Trump is a smart guy, and he really believes. He knows he's not guilty of anything he's being investigated for, so why shouldn't he sit down when there are other implications? They would do anything to find something to indict him for. They will twist anything he says, no matter how he says it, and try to make it into an indictment. And from Mueller's standpoint, okay, so he can't accept the terms, then he's fighting the president, saying, you're obstructing, you're hiding, so they're fighting over the subpoena, and that affects the election. Mueller would love it.
Before I have to let you go, Congressman, is there anything to say about a positive movement forward by the president and Mueller going back and forth in all this? It sounds like a fruitless dance from what you're saying, but politically for the president, what does this accomplish?
Well, is the president still saying, I'm still willing to sit down, hear the terms and conditions, but I don't think there are any that Mueller would accept other than just, we'll ask what we want to, because he wants to drag this out. He wants to keep spending millions of taxpayer dollars without any oversight. Rosenstein was involved in the Russia investigation with Mueller, and so they're going to let this go on. Rosenstein ought to be investigated, but as long as Rosenstein is Deputy Attorney General, then the president's in trouble and justice is not being done.
Wow. And can you get up from the table? Is it like Art of the Deal, where you sit down and I'm serious. I mean, if
it's a lot tougher.
It's tougher.
It's a lot tougher because once you begin to wave your Fifth Amendment rights, and judges, you know, I warn people, felons, accused felons, once you waive your Fifth Amendment rights and begin to testify, you waived your right. But now there are questions in a deposition that you can say, we're not answering that, and then you go litigate it to the judge. Again, Mueller would love that. It drags it out even longer, keeps him spending millions of dollars, and creates more political trouble for Republicans and the president.
Boy, you have given us a lot to think about and talk about now, as you always do, Congressman.
I guarantee you Mueller has thought about everything I've mentioned.
Interesting. From the great state of Texas. You set us up for this hour, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's exactly, he's absolutely on target. And yeah, and I like the part where he says, use what Crooked Hillary's lead. I'm sorry, I don't recall, I have no recollection, I don't remember, and what difference does it make at this point? Yeah, and charge Hillary $25 million that she owes the American taxpayer for that. You know, you see, this is all a setup. Why even consider sitting down with Mueller? Just throw the case out of court. It was based on a phony witch hunt. I don't have to answer any of your questions. Subpoena all you want. But Kavanaugh's going to go in, and if they lose once Kavanaugh's in, you know, they lose because Kavanaugh is going to side with the president, and Mueller's deal is done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.